Oh, there she is. Okay. I thought she disappeared into thin air. Okay, yeah, I'm ready. Thank you.
Still wide open.
I'd like to call to order the passenger vehicle record board meeting for Thursday, November 6, 2025. We'd like to remind everyone that the application of the Sunshine Law is in effect. There are no there are no minutes from last meeting. We did not have a quorum. Inspector?
All right, so we have no new driver permits or temporary permits. We have a request for driver's permit renewals. We have one, a William Harris for Mercury Cab. All paperwork has been completed and fees paid. Under old business, there's 44 cabs were inspected over 2 weeks of the annual inspections. And we're still waiting on November 18th of this year for the court date for Mercury Cab versus Mercury Transportation. Under old business. And under new business, we have a record violation for A1 Towing, 3610 Calhoun Avenue. Violation of section 35-171B, non-consent towing for private property. This is the failure to report private property towed to dispatch. I don't know if you want me to read the ordinance or not.
No, we read it, Inspector. Thank you.
And they are here. A1 Towing representatives are here.
Do we have a motion to approve Mr. William Harris permit renewal? Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Now, this new business is for the violation of section 35-171, and you said A1 towing is present, Inspector?
Yes.
Okay.
Andrew, do I need to swear anybody in?
Yes.
Okay, anybody that's going to be speaking on this violation needs to raise their hand and be sworn. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on 9/8/2025, the CPD Regulatory Unit received a complaint from a John Schmeickel, who stated his 2000 Isuzu Trooper vehicle was illegally sold by A1 Towing. During the investigation, it was found A1 Towing followed proper procedure with paperwork, but it was found the driver A1 Towing did not report the private property towed to dispatch like the ordinance says you have to do. So they were cited for that, and just for not calling in the private property tow.
Hi, I'm Laura Rogers, primary dispatch for A1 Towing. My primary responsibility is handling the impound lot calls coming in. We got this citation from Officer Mosier. I immediately talked with our driver that was subject to this. He felt like he had done what he was supposed to do. This came at a time when there was some change in the automated system, the non-emergency number, where we had to go through prompts. And there was also a online link that was provided to us to fill out these submissions to submit. He was in the process of being trained to use that online submission. He felt like he did it. There was no record with the police department that it was done. We could not find a trail on our side. We did note that during the online submission that the telephone number that it requires, they will send a confirmation to it if it's a cell phone number via text. If it's done from a landline, if you put in, for example, our office number, there was no confirmation that came back to us to know that it was submitted correctly. That has since been rectified. I've noted that now when we do it, that we have the option to email it to ourselves or send a text message where we do have a copy of it. That driver was counseled one-on-one with the proper protocol. A memorandum, which I have a copy of, was sent to all of our drivers with their initials. It was added to our operating procedure that it would be reviewed annually. They would all have to initial that they've read it, and any new drivers would also have to read it and be made aware of the proper protocol when handling the dispatches. So I have a copy of that. I also have a copy of how our documentation in tow book will reflect if we call it in, the documentation that we put in tow book via the non-emergency number, or we also attach a copy of the email receipt to that documentation as well. So there'll be a running paper trail on our side as well, and I have copies of that if you want to see that too. But going forward, we were made aware where we flawed. We've since taken steps to rectify that and feel 100% confident that we won't have this issue again. And I thank you for letting me speak.
I will add, this is their first citation that they have had, and I don't know how long,
22 years.
22 years, been in business, first citation. They are a company that I can go to and go, hey, this is what happened, make sure it's corrected, and they always take care of it.
So Inspector, you are satisfied with the changes they've made internally?
I am, yes, because I think they've gone, talking to them, they've gone above and beyond what some other companies might do. They've sat down with employees, had a little bit better training, sat down and said, this is what we need to do. 911 dispatch has changed some stuff, so they had it where you can call in, then they had the form that they use now. They didn't have any record of either one of them been done. I think it was probably a mistake of the driver of just maybe not hitting a button and submitting or something. I've talked to several of the drivers like, oh yeah, sometimes when you first time you do it, they say you really have to pay attention, but I'm satisfied with what they've done, so.
Sir, what is your name?
Mike Simmons.
Mike Simmons.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
September minutes. Yeah. It doesn't matter, just before you adjourn.
System from 911, where they weren't submitting documentation back, and we got that corrected. So there was a period of time, this wasn't during.
While
Submitted correctly.
Inspector Moser is over there, I was brought to my attention, I did not approve the September minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from September? Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Inspector, I think next on the agenda is Mrs. Parker.
Yes, Janie Parker of Moss Taylor's Towing, the owner, has some stuff she wants to discuss.
Yes, Ms. Coleman.
Sustain or deny the motion.
Be doing something, I'll be saying, let it go.
Okay,
A motion has to be made.
all right. Would you like to make the motion, Mrs. Coleman?
Doesn't sound like there's any further remediation
Yeah.
necessary, so I'm making a motion to take no further action.
Do we have a second? All all in favor of no further action, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Coleman.
Are you ready for,
Yes, I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Parker?
Good afternoon. I'm Janie Barker, and I have a company called Mosteller's Wrecker. Mosteller's has been in Chattanooga since 1933. Huh?
Speak up.
Speak up.
Yes,
Okay.
please speak up.
I'm Janie Barker, and I have a company called Mosteller's Wrecker Inc. And Mosteller's has been in Chattanooga since 1933. And I'm here to request the Wrecker Board to look at documents that I've given them and analyze them and see what you think. But what I think is that I feel that we should go back to the way it was for 60 years, and we don't have one person getting the majority of the business. That's one thing that I would like for y'all to really seriously look at. Look at the numbers, look at the figures, and look at what's happening. The next thing is that I am a minority for the state of Tennessee and for the city of Chattanooga. And I've had the Chattanooga contract to haul every piece of equipment that they have, big, little, small, whatever. I can haul anything that my competitors can. I do heavy haul trailers, which is an exception. There's only one other person that does it besides me. But I did it long before he did. And also, being a minority, which I am, and my certificates are in the paperwork, you know, I should get a percentage larger than the one I'm getting, you know? And I haven't. And I haven't fought this all these years because I didn't want to spend the $20,000 or $30,000 it would take to have an attorney represent me. But now business, I'm getting older and I'm thinking about the people that's going to follow behind me. And they should not be treated that way. Nobody should be treated this way. And I'd like for you to take serious thought about this for me.
Yes, Ms. Coleman. Board recognizes Ms. Coleman.
We do take in consideration everything.
I can't hear you.
I said, we do take into consideration everything that you bring before the board. But, Officer Mosier, he's not here. And I'm with the understanding that he was gonna talk to the dispatch. Cause it's a dispatcher problem and not a board.
Well, the ordinance needs to be changed back to where it was. I've got a copy of everything in here. If it goes back to what it was for 60 years, then everybody will have, it'll be first one, second one, third one in line. The one that's getting the most business has taken his family members that own other record companies and DBA'd them on his corporation in order to get around the law. So they're running it under his authority, not theirs. I could go out and DBA every heavy record driver I know. I could do the same thing that he's doing, but I haven't, because it's wrong.
I see the ordinance, but it's about the, rotor record. I guess my question is, I think the last time we spoke about this, there was going to be a discussion with, the person that actually makes the rotation. Because I'm looking at the schedules going all the way back to July, and I can see the disparity that, Mrs. Parker is bringing up. I mean, when I was looking at it before we started, and I do see it going all the way back. So I'm not trying to ask you to answer, Inspector, off of, but who do we, is it someone in particular that we need to speak with? Because I know we were talking before and it was like, we'll talk to someone about the rotation.
I can't hear you.
All right, so what is your question? Are you questioning Class C in recovery?
Yes.
Or are you questioning Class A,
Class C.
Class C in recovery?
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got the rotators.
So if y'all will look at the schedule, the calendar on there, Class C and recovery are two different classes. Recovery, to be on recovery for the city of Chattanooga rotation, you have to have a rotator. A big rotator, big record. I don't know when this was actually started. It started before I came into this unit. I've been there
2003.
I've worked there almost 29 years. That's the way it's been since I've worked here. So I think she's questioning, and this is something we talked about a couple years ago, changing. Instead of having a Class C, which is heavy trucks, and a recovery, which is heavy trucks plus rotator, basically, making it all one. I think that's what she's trying to get to. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So she's trying to basically do what we've talked about before when the record board was with the beer board, making that all one class as far as the heavy trucks, the big tow trucks. Right now, with the two different classes, every heavy that's on the rotation is on Class C and recovery class, except for Mostellers. They're not on recovery because they don't have a rotator. But they do have Class C. So what we do is, every year, end of December, we go through and make a year-long schedule for every week of each class. So if you'll look, you'll see one company on call this week for Class C. Next week, it'll be a different company. Week after that, it'll be different. They just rotate whoever's on the list. Same with the recovery. Exact same thing. They rotate every week. So Monday morning at midnight 01 until Sunday night at 11:59 for that class, that's who goes and gets these calls. Now, I do agree with her. I wish it was all one class, where no matter where the wreck is for a big semi or big truck, whoever's on call gets that call for that whole week, no matter where it's located in Chattanooga or what kind of call it is. So you take recovery, you get an 18-wheeler flipped over on the interstate at the split, which happens unfortunately way too many times. That would be a recovery class. If you get an 18-wheeler that breaks down on the side of the road at the same location, that's a Class C. I didn't come up with it, it's the way that they've done it, you know.
So, and so for what I'm hearing is that, Mosteller does not have a recovery service.
Correct.
So they would, if both classes were combined, they would not be on the rotation.
They'll be on rotation for everything.
Right, if the class was combined. Or
If it was
both.
combined and classified as, what we talked about before, make it a heavy class. Heavy being just the big tow trucks, the big expensive tow trucks. No matter what happens, if they're on call that week, they get all those calls. Next week, somebody else is on rotation. You know, they get the calls next week, so. It's very simple and this is something we've discussed when I came over and Lieutenant Wood came over when he was a sergeant. We discussed it with the board, we discussed it with City Hall, and point blankly, they said, you enforce what we come up with. Okay. So the City Hall, Chris Anderson said he's working on it, trying to go through City Council and get that ordinance changed, was all one class instead of two. But as yet, it has not happened.
Okay, I have a question. So I'm looking at the schedule, and you said Class C.
I can't hear you.
They rotate out each week.
Can you speak up? I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Class C towing, you said rotate out each week.
Yes, they both do, both
Okay,
classes.
so, starting on the 28th of July, August, the 4th, 11th, and 25th, Yates has all of those dates to take it.
They have,
Should be in there somewhere.
for Class C. So let's see, Class C. Let's see if I got it.
Because I'm looking at the same thing, which I mean, the month of July,
All right, so July, you got Hancock Wrecker, that's Class C. The next week, you have Guy Yates, Class C. The next week, you have Mont Eagle. The next week, you have Mostellers.
but Mont Eagle is Guy Yates.
No,
No?
no, Mont Eagle is a separate company.
Okay.
And then July 21st, it's Mostellers. The next week, you got Doug Yates, Class C.
And the others are rotators.
August, you have Yates Tow and Recovery, Class C. Then you have Don Yates, Class C. Then you have Hancock Wrecker, Class C. Then you have Guy Yates, Class C. So they all rotate. Now, recovery is the same thing, just different, whoever's on call that week.
Well, the one is Yates, is
There are a lot of each, yeah.
So is it her point, backing up to her point with the Yates company or whatever, they have split out? Is that what you're trying to say? So the family members now have split out, so they're rotating family members now too? Is that what you were saying earlier, or am I missing?
But what they have is Doug Yates Tow and Recovery, Yates Tow and Recovery, Don Yates Tow and DBA, meaning you are not recovery, but you are DBA'd in. Anybody can do that. Then they got another Yates, I can't remember his name, that's on there also.
There's Guy Yates. So Doug and Guy are brothers, okay?
But they got separate
They
authority.
don't get along, whatever. So all these companies have been on rotation as long as I've known. So you've got Doug, who has Doug Yates, and also does business as Don Yates, because he bought Don Yates out. You got Yates Tow and Recovery, kind of the same thing. So that's who's been on rotation as long as I've been around.
So who owns Yates Tow and Recovery?
Doug Yates.
Basically, Doug Yates,
Oh, he's
doing business as Yates Tow and Recovery. Is that your point?
And that's legal.
I'm sorry.
They've been like that for as long as I know.
60 years.
I mean, I can see the problem. Here.
So they'll argue they've been grandfathered in. They've argued they've been grandfathered in, is the story they tell me. Like I said, I've only been in this unit for 3 years.
Did you ask them for paperwork? To show what they were?
So this board, not y'all, but the previous board says they should have paperwork. They say, y'all should have paperwork. There's no paperwork. It's a he said, she said kind of thing. So bringing that to your attention 3 years ago, when we found out about this, they went. City attorneys go, somebody show us something. Well, let me know what we need to do. And here we are at 2025, and I'm still.
Yes, board recognizes Ms. Coleman.
I have a question. You're looking at November, because the past back there. Let's go to November. Who makes, we know it's not us, but who makes the decision on the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and 24th? Because on the 3rd, we have Doug and Hancock. Then we have Yates and Doug again. So why is he 2 weeks back to back?
No, you have Don.
Okay, Don.
Yes.
Which is his brother.
And then on the 17th, you got Don
It's Class C.
again.
Different.
It's a Class C.
Yes.
All of these says Class C. On the 17th, it says Class C.
And then recovery's down below.
All right, so Class C's the top.
Okay,
The next week, Class C, that's who's on call. Next week, that's who's on call. Next week, that's who's on call, Class C.
Okay.
And underneath, you'll see the recovery. So it rotates every week.
I still don't see,
But you gotta go to the next month to get who's on call for that next following week.
So I guess,
I don't see a
I
lot
guess
of
my
months
question
notice
is,
on here.
wouldn't it be easier and I guess more, easy, to follow along and fair, since everyone has the ability to do both, to make that business the recovery and Class C for that week and rotate it down? You're shaking your head no.
It would make it easier if everybody was under
One roof, yeah.
one class.
So who makes
Instead of
that
splitting.
decision?
I guess we do.
City council.
City council. So we can do a recommendation to the city council.
Absolutely.
If y'all would like to do
Mr.
that.
Lawyer,
So here's
Can
what
we
I was
do
told.
that?
Chris Anderson was gonna go to the city council and get this changed.
okay.
So if we make a recommendation today, then that would be on the city council's agenda?
That would help.
I assume,
Is that how that would work, sir?
Yeah, I mean, we can we would make city council aware of your recommendation.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to combine both classes into one to city council?
Mr.
A second.
Wait,
Wait
who
a
made the
minute, how
motion?
was it said?
The motion is to combine both Class C and recovery into one class and submit it to city council for approval.
Who made the motion?
Ms. Christie did.
Unreadiness.
No, I did not.
I'm confused.
I know.
Who made did you make the motion?
No, I did not.
Who made the
I didn't
motion?
make the motion.
Well, I thought you did, I'm sorry. All right, so we'll go back then.
I would like to make send a recommendation to the city council on making the change from having separate Class C and recovery and make it into one. That's the recommendation to them.
Right. So do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor of making the recommendation to city council, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Ayes have it. Motion carries.
I have another.
So, actually, I just, if you don't mind, excuse me, Ms. Conan, I just want to hear, if you don't mind, your thoughts on it.
I don't think it's prudent to make a recommendation to change a city ordinance without having the city ordinance in front of us. And, I mean, this board makes recommendations to make changes to the city ordinance, but the city council is who actually makes the change. And I think what we've seen here today, it certainly sounds like a valid concern, but if we're gonna make a change to the ordinance, we should at least look at it first.
Do you have the ordinance? in front of you?
I thought, did he not just explain the
Can't hear him.
ordinance?
What's he saying?
I mean, the motion passed, at this point, it's kind of a moot point anyway, but.
I do want to, validate your concern, though.
I have a copy, but it's in the computer. Everybody should have had a copy.
That's what I thought. I got one
Can't
at
find
home.
it.
It was under one roof at one point, correct? Class C and recovery at one time were combined.
No, it's
Okay.
always been
Okay,
said.
it's always been separate.
Mr.
Then I
Shackelford?
think we do need to see an ordinance.
To clarify something that would help.
Yeah, please approach the podium and the microphone. Introduce yourself.
People up
Wait a
there.
minute, Lori, Mosier left.
That's what we got here is fixing.
Close your left.
My name is Mark Shackelford, Shackelford Towing and Recovery. I'm not in big records. I've done it all my life. I've got a lot of experience in it. Ms. Parker would agree that I've been in it since I was a youngster in the business, okay? I only run A&D class, so I'm not advocating for her or anyone else, but the train wreck that we're headed to right here is, you've got two different classes of tow trucks, okay? And I think the point that we're all missing is you have recovery class and recovery trucks, which are up to $1 million, or more, if you want an M100 at Miller. or you've got stick-bone C-Class trucks that go out and pick vehicles up. The differentiator in the ordinance, as it states today, is, in layman's terms, if it's, if it can be picked up without having to be winched off the side of the road or over the guardrail, or significant cleanup has to be done, that could be done with an integrated wrecker or a stick boom truck, which falls in the C-Class category. If it's off the road, inclement weather, other circumstances that would deem, a bigger truck with better equipment, with, many other facets in that would be in the C-Class, okay? And either you have a C-Class and you're on a rotation in the C-Class, or you're in the recovery class and you have a rotator. So those are the two things that would differentiate what's required in the class, along with other equipment that's involved on the rotator class. Okay. I personally have already been in contact with Chris Anderson. I know Ms. Parker has as well, with Mr. Anderson, with the mayor's office, to try to solidify some of the issues with our ordinance, okay? If we back up 5 years ago, or in 2023, I was a spokesman for the record board, or for the record industry, to present things to the board that would help change and revitalize our ordinance today. We got the rate increase, and that's what I'm here to speak about today, is that finally got passed by city council. Does anybody know that? Okay, got read twice. Nothing's on our agenda that shows that we have a new rate schedule, and that's what I want to kind of qualify with you guys and hopefully get approval of Inspector Moser or the sergeant here today. But, this whole record ordinance is something bigger than making a decision or a motion today and qualifying it and sending it to the city council. There's a lot of things that have to be discussed, and Ms. Parker would probably love to be at the table for that, and to have others that are intelligent that can make great decisions for the city. And I think Mr. Anderson has a program already outlined for that, because it was discussed 2 or 3 weeks ago. Does that make sense?
Definitely does.
I don't think sending a Hail Mary to the mayor's office, telling them to form it all into one and start over is a great recommendation.
Well, I disagree.
You got your opinion, Ms. Parker. I'm just here to help and tell what the facts are. The facts are, if you got a C-Class,
You're helping.
I'm not lobbying for anybody, okay?
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I think the real issue here is you have Yates Torn operating under Doug,
Absolutely.
Guy, and whoever else. And it's causing a problem with the schedule and people being in the rotation. That's something that definitely needs to be looked at. I don't know if it's legal,
What is she saying?
but somebody definitely needs to look into this issue, because there's no reason why they should be on this rotation as much as they has. And Mosteller has only had, maybe 4 times? That's a problem.
Well, if you'll notice in yellow here, the whole state of Tennessee doesn't specify rotator or C-Class. It's one heavy-duty company that they call. They don't tell them what to buy or how to do it. The state of Tennessee and the state of Georgia. So what really happened back in 2008 when the recession happened? Miller Industry, took a tour up there, it had one rollback his building. It was horrible. And the man that owns Miller, he came down and talked to the city council. He said, if you'll pass this ordinance with this rotator on here, then we'll be able to sell rotators and make more money here in Chattanooga.
All right, thank you,
And
Mrs.
everybody
Parker.
was dying for work. Let me tell you how bad it was.
No, I understand. We appreciate you. Mrs. Lawrence, is there a chance that we could possibly email Mr. Anderson to get more clarity on this as well? It carried, yes, but I'd still like to get more clarity and see what he's working on as well, because we didn't know that he was actually working on something.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Parker.
Okay, one more question. What about my minority status? Can anybody help me on that? justify what I'm not getting?
Well,
We're entitled to. Business license like we all pay for.
I mean, if you're passing it on to to the city council, just please include that in it.
well, I'm sure the city council will be reaching out to everyone to be more informed before they make a decision. As far as the minority status that goes, we can't, this board can't speak to that right at the current moment. But it will be in consideration.
Can't address the issue now. I just think that may be something that she needs to take up with the mayor's office, because like you said,
Or
there's
whoever's
something
doing
that we don't.
the actual scheduling as well.
Well, she's talking about the minority, whatever minority, and I don't know if it's an incentive or what, but that's something that she would have to direct her questions to the mayor's office on that. I don't think we just overstepping our boundaries.
The minority issue has to be directed to the mayor's office.
Okay, I can do that. Direct it to the mayor's office. Well, I appreciate your time. And does anyone have any more questions or?
No, I think the board is good. Thank you, Mrs. Parker.
What do you say?
He said, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm the only woman owner of a heavy-duty record company that operates it. Just let you girls know.
So as a board, we passed a recommendation to city council. We asked Mr. Anderson to explain what he's working on, and we're in agreement that A1 Towing, their internal adjustments were satisfactory. Does anyone on the board have anything else they would like to discuss?
I'd like to say, Mr. Chairman, for the record, September the 4th, Chris Anderson was in the meeting when this first came up about the towing and the Class C and recovery. He was in the meeting when Ms. Parker spoke, and that was September the 4th. It's in the minutes.
Right.
So he is aware, because I know we brought it, we said we would look into it back in September. I wasn't here in October.
I think that was more of the, well, it was that as well, but it was also the rotation schedule, because Inspector Moser said, told us that what he could do is make a recommendation to the lieutenant to look into the scheduling at that
Right.
time.
Yes.
So I don't think that was actually about the combining, because I know this is the first time I've heard of combining the class. All right. Do we have a recommendation to adjourn? Excuse me, a motion?
Public comment.
You haven't let the public comments.
Oh, I apologize. Do we have anyone here for public comments?
You wanna go first?
Yeah, let's I can get
Let my blood pressure go down.
Jonathan Easter, New Taxi. A positive note, just want to give the board a heads up that I had a meeting with Chris Anderson 2 months ago roughly, and a meeting with Councilman Ron Elliott last week. Seen some motivation to help us with our price increases that haven't had in 15 years, and that I've been actively working on increasing for the last 6 roughly. But just want to let you know that was going through, and I didn't know if I could ask the chairman if there was a way we could get a fresh recommendation from this board to city council to recommend some rate increases or the support of it. I don't know how that works on your end, but of course, there's no details like Ms. Councilman at the left here stated. There's not much that this board has the authority to do other than what the regulation gives you the authority to do. And that's the frustrating part about all this, is that most of us don't realize coming in here, we're like, we want to do this, we want to do that. Unfortunately, you're bound by the same rules that we're bound by. And if we want to change any of those rules, you have to go to city council. You're probably not going to get much movement going to open mic night, but you got to try to get a city council member, try to get the mayor's office, or somebody like Chris Anderson that kind of works with the legislative part of it, to try to get the ball rolling on some of the changes that need to happen. So that was basically what I wanted to see and ask if we could get I know it's been recommended by the last chairman, and she got really frustrated that no movement was happening, but I just wanted to ask for a fresh, positive support recommendation.
All right, and you said you did have a meeting, Mr. Easter, with
Mr. Ron
Councilman
Elliott.
Elliott and Mr. Anderson?
He's going to try, Ron Elliott's going to try to get a meeting with all the taxi companies in town, which is only 4, and 2 of them are in litigation. And I told him, I said, it's going to be hard to get us all in the same room, but I know that Mercury, they're behind me 100% on this, but we're just waiting on that meeting to happen. And hopefully Mr. Ron Elliott will address it in an actual council meeting for, amendment of the ordinance that we're asking for. And I did forward Miss Bertha, hopefully she can forward it to you. You probably haven't checked your emails, it just happened. Kind of a brief breakdown from 2015 to 2025, showing the price differences, a rough estimate, because of course it's hard to do because you got small cars, you got big cars, so there's different prices. Rough estimates of insurance costs, repairs, and cost purchases of cars, what they've increased to, and the research that I did for the different markets between Atlanta, Memphis, Birmingham, Nashville, and Knoxville, and we're at the bottom of where everybody else is at. So Ron Elliott saw that, Anderson saw that, he's like, we need to do something. So hopefully as much leadership support that we can get to push that through would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to place on our next agenda a discussion about a potential rate increase or recommendation for a potential rate increase. And that way, any other interested parties, other taxi companies could be here at our next meeting, and we could discuss and have a chance to review any materials that would be pertinent to that.
Do we need to make a public notice about that for other taxi companies to appear?
It would be on the agenda. The agenda should be published ahead of time. So I think that would be sufficient public notice, but certainly you could reach out if you're concerned about someone not knowing about it.
Okay. Do we have a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor to the motion to put the taxi rate increase on December's agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Shackelford?
Yeah, one last thing, guys. Again, Mark Shackelford Towing for the record. The rate increase that I'd spoken of earlier has obviously been approved by City Council for the second reading. And as I just asked Sergeant Cowan, does the regulatory unit know anything of that, or has it been approved? And Bertha's telling me no, he did as well. So at what point do we have the authority to move the needle, City Attorney? I mean, once it's passed in ordinance, is it not appropriate to make those changes? Or do we have to wait for the regulatory unit to send out a published email?
I'm not sure what further role
Let me ask you another question real quick. If I move the needle today and they cite me for a violation, am I going to have to file everybody in litigation because I charged the rates that were already approved 2 weeks ago? We got two good attorneys here today.
I cannot answer that legal question, but it is a passed city ordinance.
Is it something I need to bring my attorney in to figure out, or, I mean, do we need to spend that money?
I don't think the board can give you legal advice, but I would say that, the ordinance that was passed by the city council probably has an effective date.
Has an effective date?
I would assume it does.
Is that typical when they pass an ordinance, Bertha? You've seen this for years.
I haven't seen anything.
I mean, when they pass an ordinance and it gets submitted, I've never seen I'm not trying to bash or beat down your point, but I've never seen in 3 or 4 or 5 years I've been doing this, an effective date. It's always been when it got approved, and it's been that way with the 23 rate increase. And again, just to beat the dead horse, we're waiting for a 24 rate increase, and we're waiting for our 25 rate increase. And when Christmas is over, I'm gonna be up here fighting for 26.
So,
And I hope it doesn't take 18 more months to get it.
So have you reached out to Chris Anderson?
Chris Anderson is aware. He presented it to you guys back in October, I think, or
I'm
September,
aware of
October.
that. What I'm saying is to get the question to your answer about, can you guys move forward with charging the new rates? Have you reached out to him to ask, are we?
He's
we
gonna
got a green
refer
light?
us to the regulatory unit, because they're the ones that impose the regulation that we all have to follow. So again, you know, city attorney's office approved it. It got sent to council. It got on first reading and second reading with unanimous votes. And now we're sitting ducks in the water waiting for somebody to move on this.
Does anybody have a copy of it?
I have a copy of September's minutes, yes. That's what you're asking for? No?
Well, she sent a copy of
Increase.
the rate increase.
But
I have the visual, yes. I have what it should be.
I'm looking at the minutes here, and Chris Anderson distributed copies of proposed annual rate increase for the past 2 years that needs the board's approval before it is presented to city council. Mr. Anderson was questioned by the board. That was September.
and that was, we presented, we approved it to go to city council, and city council approved it. But it hasn't been sent to regulatory.
Well, if the ordinance was passed, if the effective date could be the date of passage, but you really can't know without looking at the ordinance. And I don't think
Right.
we as the board can legally give advice on.
Bertha, this is possibly what you're asking for. That was what was put on the screen during the city council meeting and the time
So
it was
that-
presented to the record.
That was approved.
That was approved, yes, ma'am.
And what's the date of approval?
Well, the 2 city council meetings ago is what I figured it was. I mean, I was here for both of them. I can get you exact dates.
Okay. Mr. Trundle, do you know the exact date?
If it was 2 ago, it would have been
City code.
it's either the 7th and 14th or 14th and 21st. I don't know if those have been published to the website yet. I was trying to find the ordinance.
It seems like there's some confusion as to who has to push the button to say go, and what other things that happen that get approved as through city council have to have an endorsement by somebody after it gets approved.
That's right, go to the mayor's office.
Typically, it's
So who sends it over to the regulatory department?
I don't know that it has to go there.
Okay.
I just need to know that if they cite me for overcharging,
Right.
you know, and I come in here with a fleet of attorneys, who's gonna win? Because city council approved it twice. The regulatory unit doesn't know anything about it. Sergeant Cowan just confirmed it. Bertha shook her head no. So these 2 ladies and gentlemen do a great job with the regulatory unit, but they don't know anything that council's already passed. They got a memo from Chris Anderson, and it's the same crap we've been fighting for 18 months, guys. Before you guys came to be a board, we have fought this. It's been in our ordinance before you guys came to quorum here, and we've been very methodical and passionate about being kind and waiting, you know. The industry's patience is kind of wearing out.
I understand
And the
your
job
frustration.
is over. The work's been done. The fight's already been fought. We just
Right.
want.
I understand your
To contact the mayor's office. I'm just asking that is that something that could be done? Or can you get the mayor's office to call regulatory and tell them to send out an email to all the towers to say it's good to pass?
What I will say, Mr. Shackelford, the board does recognize that you have been patient in educating us as we've gone through this process.
Yes, sir.
Also, I'm in agreement that I would assume that once it is passed, but I don't know for sure, and as it's been said, we can't give that out legally, but we can find out for you where that's going, and hopefully within the next few days, that will make it to regulatory or an explanation as to what's the next step.
Can the board maybe put a timeline on when we might get some kind of notification from regulatory for that?
If we send an
Regulatory send
email,
us an email that says, hey, nothing new has changed, check back next week? Or here's what's been done, you guys are good to go?
yeah, if the board sends an email, it's on us. You wanted me to say?
It's not the board, the regular, Ms. Bertha will send the email if she gets the information, right?
If I get the information.
Right.
Correct.
Right. So, I mean, but I don't want to put on Ms. Bertha where it's to say, hey, we haven't heard back, and it's next Friday, hey, we haven't heard back, so,
Yeah, we were used to that.
It looks like the ordinance had an effective date 2 weeks after passage, and that the second reading was on the 28th.
So 2 weeks after passage,
The ordinance takes effect.
2 weeks after passage, the 28th was the last day of the reading?
The second reading would have been on the 28th.
on the 11th.
Can we confirm a date? Would that be something that we could do?
How we gonna regulate it? We don't know.
I just want to know if you're going to go to the dance. And tell me what time you want me to get there.
I think the ordinance speaks for itself, but I am curious who maintains the public-facing notices of what the current city ordinances are. I assume that's the city attorney's office, but I don't know.
Well, it goes through a company called MuniCode, and so there is sometimes a delay in getting all of that up on the website, up on the internet, but
That's not what y'all use to work with, is it? You use Munisco to work in the city attorney's office?
that's where I look up city code, yeah.
I do too, but I'm just saying that you guys know about this stuff before it hatches and gets passed on. Y'all work with it every day.
So it'd be the 11th, correct?
Maybe you don't.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks after the 28th would be the 11th. Or, hold on.
Well, what I'm going to tell you is with that information, I'm going to change my rates on the 11th, like you told me, right?
Wait till the 12th, but sure.
That's your interpretation.
That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to tell everyone else that they can do. And will the board stand behind me if we have a problem?
I think if you get a notice of violation, the board is very aware of
Oh, I'm going to
the
come in
prior
here with
history.
flames rolling off the back of my pants. You damn right.
I don't think there'll be a court on that day, Mr. Shackelford.
There'll be a disorder. And
Thank
an
you.
arrest warrant.
Thank you, Mr.
Have a great
Shackelford.
day.
You too. All right, do we have any more public comments? No? All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Anyone second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.